I want to give you a tour of the inside of the seller's resource. When you log in, this is the first page that you'll be brought to. And so you can go ahead and enter the content library by clicking on enter, or you can press the seller's resource also. And so now you're on the inside. The first page you come to is the Start Here page and the Start Here tab. And you can disregard this at the bottom. I'm using a demo email. And you'll see that there's a video here at the top. There will actually be two videos. One will be this one you're watching right now, and then this one that shows you how to add the seller's resource to your mobile device's homepage so that you can easily access it like a regular app. Right now, I don't have an app for it, but this is the easiest and the best way to be able to quickly access it. And so I'll start at the very top. First of all, I want to point out this magnifying glass. This is your search icon. So if you just want to look to see if there's a recording about a specific topic, this is where you go. You click on it, and then you can type in whatever topic you want to, click enter, and then it will tell you how many results were found for that topic and where they are. And so there's one recording in the account setup section called updating your email address. You can click on view to go to it. And then also on the index page, there are some topics that address emails. And so you can click on that to view those. But I'm not going to jump into those. I'm going to continue with the navigation. Over at the top of the page on the right hand side, you'll see three tabs or three buttons: the announcements, settings, and logout. If there are any announcements that I want everyone in the community to be aware of, this is where you'll find them. Just click on announcements and you'll see any announcements that are there. Right now there are none. Settings is where you go to change things in your profile or in your account. So you can change the email that you're using, you can change your name, you can set your time zone, and then also update your email preferences and your preferences regarding comments and the commenting system. You can upload a picture of yourself if you want to. It's not required. It's nice to have, but you don't have to. And then you can also change your password. What's in here that you don't see right now is this is also where you would come to if you want to cancel your membership. I hope that you don't, but if you do, this is where you would do it. There will be a section where you can update your credit card information and you can cancel your membership. And you can just come into the settings and do it yourself. You don't have to send me an awkward email or anything like that. So let's go back into the content library. The last button up here, the button here is the logout button. So this is how you would log out if you're done in the membership area. And then this is where you would see the picture of yourself that you upload. So before I go through what these tabs are, I just want to quickly scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. And in the footer, you'll see here links to the privacy page where you'll see the privacy information about using this site, terms and conditions, and then also I want to point out the FAQ section. This is where you'll see answers to the most frequently asked questions. And so if you click on it, you'll see some answers here to questions that you might have. So I'm going to go back to, this is the index page, and then I'm going to take you through the main navigation bar. So we're at the start here page. This is where you'll see an index of topics. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that this index contains just general help topics. So if there's something that is more of a timely update, say something that is in the um, success update emails that you get, those will not be here. These are more evergreen things that have to do with how to do things on the Etsy platform. And so that's what you'll find in the index, like how to use the Etsy Conversations tool, or Etsy payments and how it works, Etsy seller protection program, information about that, etc. Then moving on, and I'll just show you if you want to read. So here, this about section, if you click on a link in here, it will take you to, oh, it shouldn't log you out, but I'm going to go ahead and log back in. And it should actually just take you to the post or the recording for that particular topic. And so in this case, it takes us to your shop story. And so here on the page, you'll see that at the very top, you'll see the breadcrumbs. So it tells you where in the site you are. So the seller's resource is the main site, and then you're in the Launchpad category, which correlates to here. And then within the Launchpad category, you're in the shop setup section. So it would be the same as you navigating from Launchpad to shop setup, and then you'll see all the recordings in this section. And then for this one, this recording is your shop story and more. On the left hand side, you'll see the other recordings that are in that section. So here again, we're in the shop setup section. And here's just a brief description of what this section is about. And then each of these is a separate recording in here. And so these will, as more are added, the number you'll see here will continue to grow. All the way at the bottom is the download section. This is where you'll be able to download either the audio episode if you just want to download it and listen on the go. Say you're in the car and you don't want to stream it using your cellular data, you want to download it, you can download it right here. Also, if I include documents like spreadsheets or PDF files that you need to download, you'll see them also here in this downloads section. To listen to the recording, just go ahead and press the play button, and you can pause it at any time. You can use the scroll bar to rewind or to fast forward. I'm not going to play it now so that it doesn't interfere with the recording. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in this comment section and then click add a comment, and I will get a notification about that. So if it's a question for me, or you just want to make a comment for others to see, you can use this section to do that, and I'll get a notification. With the comments, when you start a thread or if you respond, the default settings are that you'll be notified if there's a response to your comment, but then you can also change that setting over here in the settings tab. To keep track of what you've listened to and what you still have yet to listen to, you can click mark as complete if you've listened to it and you know you don't want to come back to it again, or you can leave it unmarked. So if I click mark as complete, it will say completed. So then in your library, it will show that you've listened to it, so that you don't get overwhelmed feeling like you don't know where you stopped or where you left off. You'll always have this tracker to see that. If you just want to move forward and backward sequentially, you can use the previous button and the next button to advance. And so if I want to see what the next recording is, I'm just going to click on advance. And the next one in this section is SEO for your Etsy shop. Another thing I do want to point out is you can see how long the recordings are, so you know how much time you need to listen to it. If I click the next one, you'll see that the next recording is who works for and with you, and what do they do. And this recording is 9 minutes and 17 seconds. I've kept the text to a minimum because the whole goal of this resource is for you to get all the information in audio format so you don't have to do all that reading. The whole purpose of this is to take the burden of all that reading off of you and just give it to you in an easy, convenient format. All right, so that's the Launchpad tab. The Launchpad really is your beginning information. It's good for beginning sellers, or if you've been selling on the platform for a while and you just want a refresher of things that you might have missed, then it will be helpful to go through the sections in the Launchpad. The next section is on the rise, and this is more of intermediate stuff. So in here is where I have things that are nice to know, things that are you might not need right at the outset when you open your Etsy shop, but they're things that you should know and that are helpful to know. And so that's what goes in the nice to know section, as well as the shop promotion basics. At the summit is the more advanced stuff. And so here I'll talk more about money matters and filing your taxes and things like that. Advertising, this is where we're going to talk about promoted listings and not Google Shopping, but Google Ads, etc. And then branching out, we'll talk about production partners, manufacturing, wholesale, etc. That's what is in the At the Summit section. The success updates is for all those emails and things that you never really quite get around to being able to stay up to date with. Here is where you can get caught up. Here is where I will sift through the ones that are relevant, important things for you to know, and then just give you the information that you need. And it's broken down by category, which are pretty self-explanatory. So Make It Yours will have information and about branding and marketing. Community and site updates is where when things are happening in the community, like the Q&As with the CEO, or community updates to the website, to the Etsy platform. This is where you'll find information about that. I'll click in that so you can just get an idea of what's in there so far. And so here you'll see here is a December 2017 update, the Q&A recap with the Etsy CEO, experiencing Etsy from a buyer's perspective. This is where Etsy announced the changes they were making to the platform to make things better for buyers, and so on and so forth. And productivity and growth is self-explanatory. Be Seen is about getting found in search. Finances, legal matters, all these are pretty self-explanatory. Now, one thing I do want to mention is on the index page here, you won't see all what is contained in the success updates section. How I plan to keep you up to date on that is every Monday, I will send a weekly notification email letting you know what the newest additions to the content library are. So that way you don't have to worry that things are being added and you don't know where to find new recordings that are added to the library. You will always get an email from me with direct links to the new resources that have been added to the library. And so you can just click and go directly to them and listen. The next tab is the Etsy Q&A series. These are video recordings from the Etsy Conversations podcast YouTube channel. And this is where I respond to, for the subreddit, the Etsy subreddit and Quora Q&A. These are recordings where I respond to questions that have been asked on the Etsy subreddit as well as on Quora regarding selling on Etsy. And so all the videos are here. Every week I release a new one. And so far these are all, there are all the videos that are already in here of me responding to questions that were answered on these public forums. Then the Ask Me Anything Q&A section is for you. And this section is where you get to ask me questions, and then I will respond and post the video responses in here. This section is not going to be, people who are not part of this community will not get to have this particular service or access to these video responses. This is strictly and solely for paying members. And so I just have a message in here that explains that. And I said, as soon as I start getting questions from you, once you are in the community, I will start responding and posting the video responses here. And then the last section is for challenges. Our first challenge is going to be in June of 2018. And typically for the challenges, I will explain what the purpose is, what to do, and then we will all go through the challenges together. And by all, I mean anyone who is interested. It's completely optional, but it's a nice way to, as a group, do work on one aspect of our shops together to make it better, or to get better at selling. And that's a brief, maybe not so brief, tour of inside the membership area of the Seller's Resource. And I am happy to provide the service for you. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email and I will respond as soon as possible.